Hello, everyone. Dr. Victoria Skirbo here, speaking to you from the Seed of Transformation Healing Center in Wareham, Massachusetts. It's time for Taroscopes again. This will be the Taroscopes for the sign of Leo. That's Leo Sun, Leo Moon, Leo Rising for the month of May 2023. So we can get started. Before we get into the cards, I'm going to be doing an oracle pull using the Soulflower Plant Spirit Oracle, and then I'll be pulling some tarot cards. But before that, let's talk about the astrology. Now, the Leo is a sun-ruled sign, so where the sun is influences Leo. The sun starts the month in Taurus, and when we're Taurus is is Leo's 10th house, so it's about career. And we also have this month Jupiter moving into Taurus, so we can see an increase or an uptick in your either your career or your public persona. More people will see you with Jupiter up there in Taurus. We also have Mars moving into Leo this month. It moves. We have Mars moving into Leo and Taurus, and Jupiter moving into Taurus right around the same time. The middle of the month, we have and that's a square, and that would be a Jupiter. That would be a first quarter crisis in action square. And of course, with Jupiter and Taurus, Jupiter always makes things bigger, right? The Taurus is very stable things, right? Very grounded and material things. So it's going to be interesting to see. Now, Mars has been struggling through its retrograde in Gemini. It doesn't really like being in Gemini all that much because it sort of splits its purpose. Mars likes straightforward, right? And then we had it in Cancer. And if anybody knows a Cancer, it's not straightforward. In fact, the crab, which is the symbol of Cancer, could only move backwards and sideways. It's physically incapable of moving forward. So there's not a lot of confrontation with Mars in Cancer. But now Mars moves into Leo, and Mars likes being in Leo, right? Mars likes the fire signs. And so we can find the fires burning pretty hot when Mars moves into Leo. That can increase people's egos. It can increase your ego, but as a Leo, it can give you energy because Leo would be your first house. So an increase in energy. At the same time, at the beginning of the month, Pluto stations retrograde. That happens on the 1st. And for the rest of the month, it's moving backwards, of course, but it's still within Aquarius. It doesn't move out of Aquarius until the 11th of June, where it goes back into Capricorn for a while, and then eventually comes back into Aquarius, then back into Capricorn, and then into Aquarius. I believe 2025, the beginning of 2025, where it stays for about 20 years. So for a lot of time with Pluto in Aquarius, but as it goes back and forth between the Capricorn energy and the Aquarius energy, there's going to be this push-pull between Capricorn, the hierarchical structures of power, and Aquarius, the more horizontal structures of power. So things aren't going to calm down per se. Things are just going to the story will be similar. I think the characters will just be different as we move through those years. But for you, Leo, having Pluto in Aquarius, Aquarius being your opposite sign, we can come up against forces greater than ourselves with Aquarius there. So there's going to be some challenges over the next number of years around facing your own ego, perhaps, and having to surrender, perhaps to your own personal ego to a more collective power, as it were. And you can get to choose, I think, what collective power you may want to go in, or maybe we don't. I don't know. Not something to worry about in May, though. Other stuff. We do have an eclipse at the beginning of May. In fact, 5/5, Cinco de Mayo, 5/5 portal. We have a full moon in the sign of Scorpio. It's at the 15th degree of Scorpio, meaning the sun's at the 15th degree of Taurus. That is a cross quarter day. That is a powerful earth energy day when we have this this energy of opposition, which brings awareness. And it is also part of the eclipse cycle that began with the last new moon solar eclipse at 30 degrees of Aries. So that's that second Aries new moon, which happened to be an eclipse. Very powerful, in fact, big shifts, big changes. And we're seeing that. We're seeing that now, even before we get to the full moon. So things are rocking and rolling for sure. Let's see, Mercury is retrograde as we start the month. It's in Taurus, so there can be some misunderstandings in work, or you may be people may hear you say something, but they misunderstand you, and it's going to take a little while for those misunderstandings to sort of settle down. Mercury will go direct on the 14th, and it will finally get out of its shadow at the beginning of June, and by that time things should settle down, and whatever was said or whatever was thought to be said should clear up at that time. So that's good news. And we do have a new moon in Taurus. It's at the 28th degree or the 29th degree of Taurus. Let me look here. I have it right here. 29th degree of Taurus on Caput Algo, which is the star associated with beheadings. So there's probably further no, I don't think, well, it could be beheading. I mean, we just had Tucker Carlson get fired from Fox, and he's double Taurus, incidentally, and his moon is actually on Caput Algo in his chart, but it's like he was really a talking head, right? And now his head's not there anymore. So his head rolled, but we don't have to do the guillotine anymore. We just have to decide that it's costing people too much money, I guess. It has nothing to do with the fact that everything he said was awful and terrible, or maybe not everything, but certainly what I heard him say was not stuff that a lot of it was lies. So some of it may have been true, and some of it may have, caused pause for you to think, but a lot of what he was selling was lies. So, but that's not what this reading is about. This reading is about you, Leo. So let's talk about you. So that's what I want to say about the astrology. Let's pull a Soulflower card. Last month I picked starseed cards. So I took the seeds from the stars. This month I take the seeds right out of the garden. So let's see what the Soulflower Plant Spirit Oracle has to say for Leo for the month of, I was going to say for the month of Taurus, but for the month of May. And of course, the sun does move into Gemini. We can't forget that. It's not just a Taurus story. And of course, Gemini is an air sign. You're a fire sign. That's when things really start feeling like you're being heard. Perhaps you're being heard. All right. See, almost ready. To select. Select. Oops. Oh dear. Everything's jumping out at me. Self-heal. Responsibility. Self-heal. We have this growing in our yard, actually. Okay. There's book. Oh, here we go. All right. I'll hold it up. Just let me find the page. All right. These are beautiful cards, so you might as well look at them, right? Says true healing is a journey that engages the whole of your being in a spiraling process of deeper and deeper levels of understanding and self-awareness. Self-heal addresses a special connection between your soul and your body and encourages you to take responsibility for your own personal journey. Well, what else would a Leo do, right? It's almost not, well, I can't say it's not worth saying because this is what was picked. There is a wisdom in the symptoms. Our bodies are the containers for complex souls. And as such, they're always communicating with us through our senses, our symptoms, trying to get our attention about physical, emotional, spiritual work that may be needed to be addressed. Responsibility is a complex subject and often refers to caring for others. But when self-heal really shines her light on the responsibility we carry for our own well-being, that accepting responsibility for our own personal journeys and own choices and own actions is perhaps the single most important thing we can do. Perhaps it is the only thing we can truly do. It's true. It's true. Our journeys are ours. Doing this personal work is not only helps us to grow, but to heal as individuals, but also ultimately help those closest to us and our extended community, rippling out to touch all that is. In fact, this may be the most effective way to heal the earth itself. We are powerful in that way. So this is about becoming the healing, and it starts at home. It starts with your own body, with your own symptoms. It's important to take care of your own garden. Oops. Things flying all over the place today. All right, let's do a card read now. I'm going to use the Wild Unknown deck for Leo this month. I'm not sure I've ever used it for Leo, but it was here and that's what we're using. I personally adore this deck. Okay. Do I say that about all the decks? I do have my favorites. And I find that I go through like stages as to which ones I want to use. All right. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. What do you need to know, Leo? I'm getting that you have to enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself. It's later than you think. Get some rest. They want you to rest. I'm seeing a lion like on the Serengeti, I guess, wherever, on the expanse of grasslands, and he's just sort of like lolling around, relaxing under a tree, getting out of the heat. Don't forget to give yourself the time to rest. Rest and play, rest and play. All right. Rest and play, rest and play. Okay, let's see. What are we starting with here? Ooh, we have the Emperor. The Emperor. The Emperor is about dominion. It's about having control of your life. We do have, however, an eclipse here. Now, this is a new moon eclipse in this picture, but we are in eclipse season, so we come and it was an eclipse in Aries. So there's something about the eclipse in Aries. Check your chart that eclipse at 30 degrees of Aries. See what you have at 30 degrees of any of the signs, or 29 something of any of the signs. That anaretic degree, it's significant. It's significant in your chart. And then, of course, the Emperor is about having dominion, having control, being able to see it. It's clear. It's clear. Clairvoyance. Clairvoyance. What is the challenge here? We have the Nine of Pentacles, feathering your nest. Even though you're in a better position than you've been, maybe you're at the top of your game now, you still have to be cautious with your money and make sure that you have enough resources that will support you in the future for leaner times, because you're not really in a lean time, at least not according to this. At the root of it is the Ace of Swords, truth. Truth. You have decided to be perhaps true to yourself. True to yourself. A decision has been made. A direction has been decided upon. Any decision you make will automatically, if there's a decision between two things and you decide one way, then whatever on the other side of that falls away, right? We're always making decisions like this each day. But this is an important one. There's an important decision to be made in May for you. In the past, we have the Devil card. The Devil card can be an addiction. Perhaps you've struggled with addiction. Could be an addiction to money, an addiction to greed, addiction to a chemical, addiction to relationships. The Devil card is anything that keeps you from your light. But it's important to know that, and we see that his feet are on fire here. So this is about a transformational process. The Devil is not a negative or an evil card. It is a reminder that time is of the essence, really, and ultimately, how we choose to live our lives is our decision. And if you choose well, you usually get rewarded. If you choose poorly, or if you choose the devil's path, you get the consequences of that. And I think that's something you understand. In the sky, we have the Two of Swords. This is and again, we have this eclipse energy here. But this is a decision, a stalemate. There's a stalemate, but this is about the vibration of this card is 11. It's 5611 in the system that I use, the Two of Swords. And so it really is about not necessarily taking an action, but really sort of balancing the two sides of things. Let's see what's in the immediate future. Oh, we have the 10 of Cups. Isn't that nice? So that's happiness. That's the fun. That's the fun that you have to have. Celebrate. How it's seen from the outside, the Daughter of Cups, you're seen as a sensitive, somewhat maybe naive soul. I don't know if you feel that, but people see you that way. In your domestic situation, we have the Son of Wands. The Son of Wands. This is the Knight of Wands. This is the rising of the Kundalini energy. So things are pretty hot at home, and not in a bad way. Hopes and fears. We have what is this? The Seven of Pentacles. Let me just make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The Seven of Pentacles. You're worried about money. You're worried about resources. It's a reasonable worry. You have to be careful with your money. But you don't want to get overly, you don't want to be overly stingy because of that, but you don't also want to be like, oh, sure, eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow we shall die. You have to start saving. You have to start taking care of that. And you're at the outcome. Oh, I love this card, the Star. This is going to be a month for you to invigorate your guiding star, to really decide what's your next step. What are your next steps? You've reached a certain amount of stature. You've been through hell, and you're on the other side of that, and you're slowly making choices and moving forward, but you need to really think about it and meditate on it. Underneath it all, we have the Three of Swords, which is heartache, the Five of Wands, which can be chaos and arguments. And then we have the Father of Wands, which is the King of Wands, which again, we have this rising Kundalini force. We see so this is about taking hold of your power. And part of that has been through your experiences with loss and with confusion and with challenges in your life. So you've earned it, Leo. You have earned it. All right. Well, I hope that's helpful for you. Please like and subscribe if you would. If you give me a thumbs up or you share my video, that's wonderful. If you want to be a Patreon of mine, that's wonderful too. There's a link below. If you want reading with me, I do astrology, Kabbalah, numerology readings, just like I do for the famous people on my channel, right? And I have two readings, usually do two readings available, a 60-minute reading or a 90-minute reading. If it's your first reading, the 90-minute reading is usually preferred because we don't have to rush, we don't have to push it too much. We can take our time and really go over the chart together. But if that's an issue, you always have the 60-minute reading. So that's up to you, but it is in the scripture below on how to contact me with that. You just have to go to my website. And if you want to do a reading with me, I've had a number of people fill out the new client questionnaire first before they purchase the reading. But when that happens, I don't have an email to get to you. The only way I get an email is if you actually purchase the reading first. So if you're waiting for me to get a hold of you and you're wondering if I'm ignoring you, I am not ignoring you. It's just that I don't have your email address. So that's the story, Morning Glory. All right. Take care, everyone. Have a wonderful month, and I'll see you again in June for the Taroscopes for the sign of Leo for the month of June 2023. Until then, have fun, relax, play. You've earned it. Take care, everyone.